Moving on now, and we're going to do this just once. The left are now trying to defend Charlie Kirk's assassin by implying that maybe he won't get the death penalty if he pleads insanity. But the bar for an insanity plea in Utah is high, and the Tyler Robinson thing is going to be difficult for him to convince a jury that he was insane when he assassinated Charlie Kirk. John Hinckley tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan in 1981 to impress Jodie Foster, the actress, and a jury found him not guilty by reasons of insanity, and Hinckley spent 30 years in a mental hospital. John Hinckley tried to kill a president to impress a girl, but was he really insane? Or did John Hinckley just take advantage of a weak system? We'll let you decide at home. But on some level, Tyler Robinson probably assassinated Charlie Kirk to impress his trans boyfriend, Lance. And based on his text messages, he wanted to grow old with Lance and put all of this behind him. Because Tyler Robinson never thought he was going to get caught. In repeated text messages after the assassination, Tyler presents himself as calm and in complete control. Robinson to Twiggs, quote, "You are all I worry about, my love. If I get the rifle, I'll leave no evidence. And make sure you delete this exchange. And don't talk to the media. If the police ask questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent, my love." That was Tyler Robinson to his boyfriend after the shooting. And even if the messages were part of some coordinated plan by Lance and Tyler to clear Lance of any involvement in the plot to kill Charlie Kirk, those text messages clearly prove two things. The first, Tyler Robinson was definitely not insane. He was calculated, he was measured. And second, most importantly, he killed Charlie Kirk because he hated Charlie Kirk. The motive in this case is in black and white, in text message form. But the left still have no idea what that motive is.
You said a lot there, and we don't have a motive yet. We don't know yet. We're waiting. Obviously, we've heard what the governor's had to say, what the FBI director said today.
Come on, we don't have a motive yet.
We know.
We don't have a motive yet.
What's happening with?
Really, that's CNN's position.
I mean, from law enforcement,
he just happened to fire the gun in celebration. You can't tell the motive.
Senator, that's not what I said. And I said law enforcement hasn't laid out a direct motive. They've laid out a lot of evidence here of these messages and what the shooter said to
they've said that he was a left-wing activist who hated Charlie Kirk.
Tyler texted Lance a final message on Wednesday, again after the shooting, that the left have simply ignored. Jimmy Kimmel certainly ignored this. He lost his job as a result. And they did that for a reason. Here's the quote. "Remember how I was engraving bullets? The messages are mostly a big meme, but if I see notices bulges on the news, I might have a stroke." Notices bulges is a reference to something called furry culture. Furry culture where people identify as animals, which also has ties to the trans community. And Tyler's boyfriend, Lance, is both trans and a furry. And the shell casing from the round that killed Charlie Kirk had the words, "notices bulges" on it. And that's your motive right there. Robinson killed Charlie Kirk to defend his trans furry boyfriend, the love of his life, from everything Charlie Kirk stood for and everything that might have hurt his lover's feelings. But take my word for it, the left are trying to turn Lance and Tyler into some kind of trans Brokeback Mountain, but they're not. And this narrative that Tyler somehow transformed from normal all-American kid next door into Lee Harvey Oswald overnight is just not true. Here is the normal Tyler just before he started college. Again, this is supposed to be the normal Tyler before he was radicalized.
Okay. Congratulations. You have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000. This scholarship is available for 4 years or 8 semesters.
But even in that video, the video of a normal all-American kid getting a scholarship to college, there are signs that something might not be quite right with Tyler. The kid who got a scholarship to attend Utah State University had a 4.0 GPA and got a 34 out of 36 on the ACT. According to the neighbor, he was just a sweet, skinny, respectful teenager. Does that remind you of anybody? Maybe that odd, skinny teenager who tried to kill Donald Trump last July. And what about the odd 24-year-old Patsy who, according to our own government, assassinated John F. Kennedy in 1963? Because that's the narrative the media want you to believe at home. But it's not true. We think Tyler had probably been a little off long before he went to college. He dropped out, by the way, and at the time of the assassination, he was dating a man and was attending Dixie Tech part-time. They texted students after the assassination, "Dear students, please be aware an arrest was made in the killing of Charlie Kirk. The suspect is a Dixie Tech student. He is part of the apprenticeship program." The truth is that Tyler hadn't been normal for a long time. When he was 14, Tyler dressed up in a Ride-'em Donald Trump Halloween costume, which we think is an odd choice for any young man. And we're not sure what his little brother was supposed to be. He was standing next to him in the picture, dressed as what we suppose was a G.I. Joe, but he looked a lot like a sniper. We don't say any of this to poke fun at his family, but this is not a standard costume. When I was 14, I dressed up as a pirate. I've got photos to prove it. The point we're making is simple. There were signs.
We also have to figure out how it came to be that a kid with a 4.0, with a 34 on the ACT, with a full ride scholarship at my alma mater, who didn't even last a semester, drops out and ends up doing something like this. We need to understand that, and we need to figure out how to stop it.
Tyler also seemed to spend a lot of time on the computer, more than normal. The kind of time where someone like Tyler, a bright, quiet kid, respectful even, was exposed to things that young children probably shouldn't be exposed to. His mom posting a picture on Facebook with the caption, "Almost forgot Tyler, he can totally avoid us now that he got all of his computer accessories that he's been wanting." She posted a smiley face next to that. But no one's smiling tonight. Tyler was 10 in that photo. Now imagine a decade exploring the darkest corners of the internet. Then in 2020, a new president comes along and starts saying things like this.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. The Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And that is a threat to this country. MAGA Republicans have made their choice. They embrace anger. They thrive on chaos. They live not in the light of truth, but in the shadow of lies. MAGA Republicans look at America and see carnage and darkness and despair. They spread fear and lies. Lies told for profit and power.
On their own, none of this means a thing, but when you put them together, it starts to paint a picture. But the one thing that should not be in question tonight is the motive. We know who killed Charlie Kirk, and we know why, and we know that because all of it is in writing.